Hello. Today is the...
I've not said hello yet.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. No problem. Hello.
It's the 7th of April. I just wanted to make a short video about something really serious that happened on Wednesday just gone, which is the 4th of April. Something happened that really made Neil evaluate where he stands with things. I'll explain.
Yeah.
We got a phone call as we were getting up that our daughter had collapsed and her other half had to do CPR on her to bring her back.
We couldn't believe what we were hearing, could we, Dawn?
It was like a nightmare. We couldn't believe it.
It was like we were just getting dressed.
And the thing was, you go into panic mode.
Yeah.
Neil panicked because his mobility isn't brilliant.
I can't do anything fast. Literally,
No.
It takes me ages to get ready to go out, doesn't it?
And he
Because I'm
was
just so
worrying
slow.
because he wouldn't be able to walk properly. But he got me to Claire's house, that's my daughter, and we were there as the ambulance got there. Then the issue for Neil...
Sorry. Yeah. I noticed the stand.
Behave.
Normally that's you, isn't it?
Yes. The issue was Neil was saying he can't walk distance from a car park to where Claire would be.
Yeah, so I can drive the car, I can take you to the car, I can Teresa helps me into the house and, helps me back out to the car. But if we've got to go anywhere, any distance from the car, I can't do it. I've got no way of... I just can't walk. It's simple as that. I can walk about 20 feet, if that, and that's my limit, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the problem was we couldn't guarantee finding a wheelchair to take Neil where we wanted to be. So Neil dropped me off at the hospital and I went with Claire and a partner Paul, and we was there, and poor Neil had to come home. He was really struggling and he felt that he was letting me down, letting Claire down, and the thing is, he was beating himself up about it, and there wasn't anything anybody could do.
I felt very, very frustrated because this was an emergency, and I've never been in a situation where we've had like an emergency and my walking's been so bad I can't go with Teresa, basically.
No.
So my only alternatives, we followed the ambulance to the hospital. I had to drop Teresa off. She went with Paul, and I just had to go home because I just couldn't walk, and you had to go into A&E.
So
I was useless, basically.
That was the situation, and it was so sort of, it was surreal anyway. It was like, this isn't happening. Her partner did CPR and brought her back because she wasn't breathing for 2 minutes. So this was as serious as it gets, and Neil felt lost. He couldn't help.
Useless.
Yes, he felt useless because as a rule Neil's the one with the level head, sorts everything out, but this was an occasion that he couldn't be where he wanted to be.
No, that's right.
So whilst he was at home, he did something that he has been sort of pondering on for a while.
My hand was forced.
But yes, his hand was forced, and he actually ordered a wheelchair, which comes shortly.
Yeah. Well, actually, I hadn't actually been considering a wheelchair. I've been considering a scooter, if you remember, because it's the whole wheelchair thing. I just can't get my head around it, and I wanted something that was like a bit more tech to it, that moved on its own, but it made absolute sense to get a chair with like a self-propelled where I can actually move it myself. And had we got a chair in the boot, because it folds up easily, stuff it in the boot, had we got one, we'd have just been able to park up, get the chair out, and then I'd have been able to go in with them as well, and we'd just been able to sort it out. Or Teresa can push me, or I can push myself, or something. So
yeah, so that was a very big deal for Neil.
Yeah.
And he's got to come to terms with it and to even sit in it. But something that may have helped that situation was, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday, Friday.
Or was that when we went?
We went to visit Claire.
We went to visit her, yeah.
And Neil decided that he would sit on these benches near where we parked, in these disabled spots.
Yeah, so we parked up, and Teresa was going to go and get a wheelchair, wasn't
Yes.
But we didn't know where they would be, or even if the hospital would have them, and if they did, where are they, you know. So I walked to these benches, which is literally 10 or 15 feet away, because that's as far as I could walk, and I sat and I waited.
And I went into where this little department was, and there was one wheelchair in the foyer, and I asked the lady behind the desk if there was any more, and she says no. She says if there's none out there won't be any. So I thought, well, I'll have to take it, it's the only one there. Well,
can I just say, Teresa obviously got the chair, and I'm sitting on the bench thinking, oh, I wonder if she's got one, and she hasn't rang me to say she can't get one or anything like that. And then I hear this rattling sound coming towards me, and I'm thinking, no. No, that's got to be somebody with like one of these big crates, you know, where they're like one of these big laundry things where they're going across. No, that can't be Teresa.
It was.
The sound gets louder, and it gets louder, and round the corner there's beaming with this little smile is my dear wife with this humongous, horrible contraption in front of her. It was a right monstrosity. Do you know, I wished I'd taken a picture of it now. But
oh dear, it did take some beating, and the thing was, it sounded like it was going to break down with every movement.
And the worst thing, it had got rear wheel steering, okay? So the front wheels were fixed, and the rear wheels were the wheels that steered. So if you want to go left around a corner, Teresa had got to like push it the back to the right,
yeah.
And it was. I know that's kind of how you'd push anyway, but because the steering was on the back, it was just so temperamental, and I was going like this. You're not a driver, are you, Dom?
I'm not a driver. Oh no.
So go on.
Right.
Tell them what happened.
So the thing is, everyone's heard about my other experience with Neil in a wheelchair, but this was worse. I don't know what I've got against pensioners. I just think that they don't want the legs. Because, like, I'm going for it. And Neil's going, slow down, tree, slow down. And he had to keep covering his eyes. But that wasn't the worst thing.
At least my chair that I've ordered, I'll be in control of speed and brakes.
Because as we got to the ward, there's 4 beds per cubicle. Yes. And the thing was, I was going at the rate of knots with Neil in the chair. And Neil had the foresight to think, I'm going to take the end of this patient's bed off. And the machine that makes the mattress.
Yeah, so there's a machine on the end of every bed. It's like a pump, and it's hooked over the footerboard of the bed. And we were heading straight for it, basically. And Teresa wouldn't go slow. She seemed to think that she's got to go at the speed she walks. And that's fairly swiftly, actually. And we were heading for this bed, and literally, I could see the arm of the chair was going to take off this machine, and there was a woman in this bed, fast asleep, bless her. And
She
and
wasn't
the
asleep
only
for
thing
long.
the only thing I could do, I was sort of saying, stop, you know, was grab the bed. So this machine didn't end up on the floor, and as I grabbed the bed, I think I must have nudged her foot.
She touched her foot, and she woke up with a fright.
She literally jumped and went, oh God, it was so embarrassing. And I could feel myself going red.
And he was trying to like hide himself in the chair, and I'm going, I'm sorry. But Claire, it made her laugh.
Do you know there was a nurses' station behind us with about 6 or 7 nurses, and I don't know if they saw what was going on.
Oh dear, and Neil's going, oh, can't wait for my chair to come. But we just thought we'd share that experience of when something happens, it forces your hand into making a decision.
Yeah.
Which it did.
So the day I dropped you off, which was Wednesday the 4th, the day I dropped Teresa off, and I came home, I just got onto Amazon, and I just punched in wheelchair, and I just thought, I've got to have some form of independence in the boot, because this was an emergency.
Yeah.
And it's like Teresa relies on me sometimes. Am I level-headed then?
You are
Am I
level-headed.
clear thinking, dear?
Yes, dear, you are.
Thanks. So she relies on me, and I couldn't be there for her because I just couldn't walk, and it just frustrated the hell out of me. So that's our story.
Yes.
Are you laughing?
Well, I'm laughing now because it was hysterical. Not for the poor lady. Sorry.
Incidentally, Claire, our daughter, had a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot on the lung, which incidentally can be fatal. And so it was very, very serious. But we are happy now to announce that just a couple of days later, the treatment she received from the hospital near us was absolutely second to none. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Amazing.
And she was looked after and cared for fantastically. So she's back home now. Came home yesterday.
Yes. She'll be on a tablet for the rest of her life.
Yeah, but she's well and she's still with us, and
we're very grateful.
it's a blessing. So
Yes.
yeah, we're very grateful. Okay. Right then, guys. I think that's about it for this one. So it's bye-bye from me.
And it's bye-bye from him.
So... so... until next time, we bid you farewell.
We'll meet again. Bye.
Bye-bye for now.